Well, hello there. Thank you for joining me again. I am Dr. Angel Kreitz with New Covenant University. New Covenant University is a university that's been established since 1987. We're a private Christian university that trains Christian leaders and ministers, teachers, and counselors uh, throughout the United States and in the Bahamas. And so I'm coming to you today with a class um, called PHI 101 on purpose. This is part 2. You may have seen part 1 on this YouTube channel. If you didn't, then go back and watch that one. It will give you context for this course. My name is Dr. Angel Kreitz. I am the president of the university and an academic mentor here. So I do teach a lot of these courses, and I am so honored that you have decided to be with me here today. If you want more information about New Covenant University, check out our website at ncu.education. Or if you'd like to call and talk to me, please call me, or if you're international, WhatsApp me at 615-948-2212. So let's get started in today's course, PHI 101. This is part 2 to the first part that we've done just a few minutes ago. Let's review for a moment, for those of you who didn't watch it. We were talking about purpose and discovering your purpose. Your purpose is not your decision, it's your discovery. You grew up with people asking you all the time, what do you want to be when you grow up? Well, that wasn't really your decision until you discovered your purpose. And so we're talking today about how to discover your purpose, the benefits of it, and how it will change your entire way of thinking as you progress through life. There are 4 questions that you must ask yourself to discover your purpose. They are, what do you love? What do you hate? What makes you cry? And what annoys you? To learn more about that, watch part 1 of this course, PHI 101. But right now, we're going to move forward talking about the 2 types of people where it comes to purpose. There are 2 types of people in the world. There are purpose-focused people who are focused on their purpose and focused on their gifting that God has given them. And then there are performance-driven people who are driven by what they can do rather than what they are, who they were created to be. So let's read a verse found in the scripture. I wanted to read from the New Testament, and it says, when he had stopped speaking, talking about Jesus, he said to Simon, launch out into the deep and let down your nets for a catch. And Simon answered him and said to Jesus, Master, we have toiled all night. All night we have toiled and caught absolutely nothing. Nevertheless, at your word, I will let down the net. And when they had done this, they caught a great number of fish, and their net was breaking. So they signaled to their partners in the other boat to come and help them. And they came and filled both boats so that they both began to sink. And when Simon Peter saw it, he fell down at Jesus' knees, saying, depart from me, for I am a sinful man, O Lord. For he and all who were with him were astonished at the catch of fish which they had taken. And so also were James and John, the sons of Zebedee, who were partners with Simon. And Jesus said to Simon, do not be afraid. From now on, you will catch men. I want to talk to you about that for a moment because it is the perfect illustration for the contrast between purpose-focused and performance-driven people. Purpose-focused and performance-driven people. You see, they knew or Jesus knew that their purpose was to catch things. They were fishermen. And instead of being fishermen to catch fish, Jesus made them fishers of men. Let's talk about 4 facts about frustrated fishermen. Number 1, the performance-driven life produced nothing. It produced nothing. They were just out there in routine, catching fish, making sure that they had enough money for their family. They were doing what a lot of us do. We take a job, we do it in order to provide for our families. Okay? And so that produced nothing. After fishing all night long, Simon was still unable. There came a point where he was unable to catch anything all night long. Number 2, an openness to change only happens when we hurt enough. When we hurt enough. So Simon was in a painful place. He worked all night long and he caught nothing. And so Jesus said, listen, cast your net on the other side. Did Simon Peter say, no, Master, I appreciate your input, but I'm just not going to do that? No, why? Because his pain and disorder was uncomfortable enough. He allowed himself to be corrected. Pain and disorder is corrective. It forces you to look, listen, and learn. If there's pain in your life, if there's anything that's confusing you, if you are in a painful place, you're going to be more open to other people instructing you, to even God instructing you, than you are when you're not in a painful place. Number 3, following an instruction positions you for promotion. That's why mentorship is so important. You want to go and become a protege under someone that's been where you haven't been, someone who does what you want to do, someone who's very wise in where they have been so that they can help pull you up there too. Be willing to follow an instruction. It always positions you for a promotion. I had a spiritual son who I still do, like I don't have him anymore, who listens to my instructions. God gives me insight as to what he should be doing. And when he comes to me, when he's in pain, when he's had a bad day, and he says, how should I respond to this? How do I react to this? And I tell him, and inevitably, he says, wow, that was really helpful. It was a fresh perspective. You can't always see things for yourself. You have to have a trusted voice in your life that you allow to give you an instruction. Jesus was on the shore looking out at the boat. Peter was inside the boat doing the work. Jesus had a different angle, a different perspective, and was able to instruct him. Number 4, Jesus never changed their purpose. He only changed their assignment. He didn't change their purpose. They were fishermen. They caught things. And now he made them a fisher of men. That'll happen a lot in your lifetime. Your purpose will cause you to have different assignments. And perhaps you'll feel like you've changed your purpose, but you really haven't. You'll be able to use that gifting inside of you in every assignment you do in your lifetime. The number 1 reason people fail to fulfill the purpose is because they have the wrong focus. Stay focused. Stay focused on what you're doing. Be willing to accept instruction. Be willing to accept instruction. Your purpose births your life assignment. So let's talk about the assignment that you've been given. The assignment that you have in front of you is very important because your purpose will birth it. Your purpose will birth an opportunity for a new assignment quite often in your lifetime. This time, like all times, is a very good one if we know what to do with it. Emerson said that. Number one, God has qualified you to be a perfect solution for someone. You're not for everybody, baby. You're not for all people. You know, if you want to please everybody, you're going to have to sell ice cream. And you know, I've heard that said a lot, but me with my brain, I always say, even then, some people are lactose intolerant. God has qualified you to be a perfect solution to someone. Don't ever expect to be for everyone. You're just not. And that's the reason why sometimes your assignment changes. You have to go be with the someones who are looking for you. Number two, your assignment is geographical. Your location matters. Your location matters. Remember, Jesus Christ himself, the Son of God, tried to minister in Nazareth. And he couldn't because the people had too little faith there. They knew him too well. They were too familiar with him. He couldn't minister on the level that he wanted to. So he moved on after being in that city for a while. How about Elijah when he was sitting by the brook and it dried up? That was Elijah. Yeah. The raven flew away. It was time for his location to change. Jonah, who jumped in the sea rather than going to Nineveh. His purpose, his assignment was set in Nineveh. Your location matters. Where you are determines who will see you. Joseph was in prison when he was seen and recommended to the Pharaoh. Your location determines who will see you. Being in the right place at the right time is severely underrated. You must learn that your location matters. Number two, those who see you determine the favor that comes your way. Those who see you determines the favor that comes your way. God can open the doors, but it's your response to people. It's your purpose that will create favor for you. Number three, your assignment may contain seasons of insignificance. Your assignment may contain seasons of insignificance where you feel like you're not making a difference. But the purpose of isolation is to birth total and complete focus. Reset, regroup, restart. Reset, regroup, restart during those seasons. It's not that you aren't making a difference. It's not that you're not valuable. It's not that people aren't being ministered or touched or blessed by your purpose. It's that it's time to get a total and complete focus. We all need that. We all need a downtime so that we can get our mind on straight. We can't just keep going and going and going and never have that time to refocus. Number four, there will always be a price to pay to complete your assignment. Always. Nothing is free in this life. There's not one thing in this world that is free. Someone says to me, well, salvation is free. Ask Jesus if it was free. We misunderstand that concept. His purpose in coming to earth was to offer us a covenant, right? And he paid the price for that covenant. A price was paid for that covenant. Salvation is not free, neither is your purpose. Your purpose will cost you. It will cost you your time. It will cost you your energy. It will cost you your focus. It will even cost you a frivolous lifestyle. You're going to have a lifestyle that's conducive to your focus. Are you willing to do that? Number five, you are a reward to someone. There is someone who is looking for you. You are a reward to someone. Someone needs exactly what you have been given from God. Someone needs that gifting inside of you. You are not needed everywhere. You are needed at a specific place for a specific time. Look at Esther. She was brought to the castle. Look at Joseph, who was brought to the castle. Look at David, who is delivering lunch to his buddies or to his brothers. You are needed at a specific time in a specific place and for specific people. For specific people. 10 keys to unlock a successful assignment. Let's talk about that. 10 keys to unlock a successful assignment. Number 1, remember you will have enemies. Not everyone is going to like you. Even I have enemies. Hard as it is to believe, I think I'm perfectly delightful. You will have enemies, I promise. Enemies are important to your purpose, though. You're known by the enemy you defeat or the enemy who defeats you. David became known after defeating Goliath. You will have enemies. It's okay. Get over that. You're going to have them. Number 2, you will be misunderstood. I remember being so afraid to write my book, Think Like a Queen to Be Married to a King, because I thought, oh, people will misunderstand where I'm coming from or the context that I'm trying to put this in. Don't worry. They will. People will misunderstand you, and it's okay. It's all right. Say what God puts in your mouth anyway. Say it. It's your purpose. People will misunderstand your actions because you're walking in your purpose. They don't understand you. Why? They don't understand you because it's your purpose, not theirs. It's not for them to understand you. People are always going to misunderstand you. Don't worry about that. Keep focused. Keep moving on. Number 3, it requires mentorship in your life. We're talking about how to unlock a successful assignment. You must have a mentor. You must have a mentor. We just talked about this. A mentor can see what you're unable to see. A mentor has a larger perspective of where you're going. Allow someone in your life to speak to you. And I'll tell you something. Allowing a mentor in your life to speak to you, to tell you, to instruct you, to correct you sometimes, it's going to help you in reducing the amount of time that you spend listening to your critics. You'll think to yourself, this person who is criticizing me, why do I need to listen to them? I have a mentor. I have someone who's invested in my life. I'm going to listen to that mentor. I'm not going to listen to these critics who have nothing to do with me. It's going to make you more confident. Mentorship is so vitally important. I can't stress that enough. Number 4, you will pray more. You will understand the power of prayer in your life and hearing from God, not just talking to God, but hearing from God. Why? Because ultimately our instructions do come from God and we have to walk in obedience to them. When we walk in obedience to God, we walk in an uncommon favor that can't be duplicated with anything else. Praying will become vital in your life. You will want to hear the voice of God each and every day in order to walk in your purpose and to understand your assignment for that season. Number 5, you must understand the lines of authority. You're not going to be in leadership in every assignment that you have. You have to understand those lines. Sometimes it's for you to be led and not be leading. Number 6, you must be aware of your difference. Being self-aware of your difference will help you to reach more people than if you weren't. I always tell the story of how when I had little children, I had 4 children that I raised and homeschooled, and I bought each one of them a betta fish in their own tank. And we were talking about how to care for animals and how to nurture them, how to feed them. And so I thought fish were the safest thing, that each child could have their own. And so I noticed that there I had 3 children that were capable of taking care of their own fish. They were all lined up on the counter. And one fish was kind of getting smaller over the months. And the second fish was a lot smaller over the months. And the third fish was about normal size. And as time progressed, I realized that the 2 older children weren't feeding their fish well. They weren't taking care of them the best. And so their fish ultimately died. And Gabrielle, my youngest at the time that was able to, she's my second youngest. So she was still at the age she was learning with the other 2. And she has a big heart and so much compassion for nurturing living things and taking care of them. And so she began to feed her fish, to feed it as often as she ate, which was about 3 or 4 times a day. Well, you can imagine what happened to that fish. It was overfed and it ultimately blew up. So now I have this inside phrase that I teach all of my proteges. I tell them all that story. And I tell them, listen, where it comes to your purpose, don't blow up your fish, because you know more about this subject. You know more about this topic. You are an expert in this, and you might just give too much information to people around you at one time, and it's going to overwhelm them, and you're going to blow up your fish. So you want to be aware of your difference so that you don't blow up your fish. Number 7, your words become very important. Your words become very important in your assignment. What you have to say will be listened to. So be careful what you say. Be careful how you say it. Be sure to convey the right message to those around you, because they will cling to those words. Number 8, choose your companions carefully. Choose your companions carefully. Now, let's not get religious about this. No one is perfect. No one's a perfect person. When I choose my companions, I look for people who are loyal. I love loyalty in people. That is a rare quality to find. I look for people who are authentic. People who are authentically themselves and confident in walking in their own skin. People who are not hiding things. People who can be who they be. And I always look for people who are encouraging, who inspire me. People who inspire me. And, no one is perfect. So I've had other folks who are outside of my circle who criticize those who are in. And I know the qualities that I look for in my tribe. And I'm very careful to pick them and select them to be in my inner circle. But I don't appreciate critics who would criticize people who are around me. So let's not get over religious about this. Understand that you will have imperfect people around you, and that's okay. That's okay. Be willing to be loyal right back to them. But do choose people who are for you and not against you, who will encourage you and not divide your other companions away from you, who are authentic and truthful with you, who are loyal to you and won't talk about you behind your back. Choose your companions carefully. Number 9, you must become more conscious of time and timing. Timing is everything. You don't have time to waste in your assignment. You must get things done in a timely manner. You must make progression with your purpose on a regular basis. Number 10, and this is the most important thing, Your life is not going to come equipped with cheerleaders. Just because you're walking in your purpose, you're not going to get up in the morning and someone's going to call you and say, hey, I can't wait to see what you're doing today. I'm rooting for you. You're awesome. No one's going to do that. The truth of the matter is, very few people really care. Very few people really care whether you're walking in your purpose or not. You have to surround yourself with people and things that inspire you. Books inspire me. The Word of God inspires me. Certain people, my mentors, my spiritual father, they all inspire me. And so I keep myself surrounded by those things. But they aren't necessarily cheerleaders either. But you know, when you're walking in your purpose, when you're doing your assignment, that becomes its own reward. That becomes its own reward. You must discover your purpose. You must discern where and to whom you were assigned, and you must be recognized, discovered, and discerned by those receiving your gift. How? Your function precedes your identity. Don't expect people to recognize that you are an apostle. Don't expect people to recognize that you are a minister of the gospel. Don't expect people to recognize that you are who you say you are, a leader, before you start functioning in it. The first thing I do when I hear people say, well, I want to be an author, I say, okay, how much have you written today? What? What do you mean today? I didn't have a chance to write today. Don't you journal? Shouldn't you be writing every day? How about the singer who wants to become a professional? The singer who wants to develop that purpose in their life? What if they didn't practice? What if you were a football player that never showed up for practice? No, that's not going to work out. The function should always precede the identity, and people will recognize your purpose right away. The people in bondage in Egypt had to recognize Moses for delivery. The Israel army under attack recognized a young shepherd boy named David for victory. And Pharaoh desperately needed help and recognized Joseph for direction and insight. Listen, thank you so much for joining me today. As we talked about your purpose and how to discover it. If you'd like to order Dr. Paul Kreitz books, specifically this one called Discovering the Power of Purpose by Dr. Paul Kreitz, you can go here to mypurposeintl.com, order the books. They're only $10, and I'll even throw in shipping if you're in the continental United States. We have soft copies and we have audiobooks for you there on that website as well. I would love to hear from you if this class blessed you. And if this class did or did not bless you and you're enrolled at NCU, your assignment is to read Discovering the Power of Purpose and write a 2 to 3 page reaction paper on it. Make sure it's in your syllabus before you do that, because some of you, your programs just require to take the verbal class, and some of you, the courses require you to do the assignment that comes along with it. Thank you again for joining me. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Have a great day.